Mm, mm, mm.
It's rain, son.
Dylan,
Good night.
go to bed.
Good night. Hey, y'all. We're back. Look at there. Twice in 1 week.
Yes, yes, yes. You want to put the so you can see the comments. You don't have the whole screen in the middle.
I don't have one.
You see how it says comments?
Oh, sorry.
Now it says comments. Y'all,
Y'all, we're back.
we're gonna make this quick because we got to get dinner.
Yes.
Uh, but we didn't want to wait too late to say
Yes.
it. Hi, Marissa. You were on with us last night.
Yes, she was. Hey, Marissa.
Um, so we got on here last night and we told you all that we were given a no. Well, it seems to have been a no, but there was a crack in another door that was halfway open.
No, that door closed.
That door, that door closed, but there was another.
There was a window.
Somebody told us there was a window.
There was a window.
Listen, I went to bed last night and I slept like a baby.
Mm-hmm.
Had some melatonin jelly.
Hmm?
The melatonin jellies.
Oh, the melatonin gummies. Yes.
Yeah, gummies. Yes. Went to sleep. Prayed. Went to sleep. Woke up. My wife. What happened to you last night?
I did not have the same testimony.
She slept after crying all night.
Correct.
So that's
I
fine.
cried myself to sleep.
So I had no idea all this happened. So
melatonin is great.
So let's get to what happened today.
Mm-hmm.
So the prayers of the righteous availeth much.
Indeed. And y'all have been praying your good prayers for us, okay?
So
thank you. I just want to thank you.
We were told no.
Yes.
This ain't gonna happen.
Yes.
So okay. So we said, okay, let's call our realtor. Let's let her know we're going to rent. Told my mom, yeah, we're gonna rent. Told my sisters, we're gonna rent. They're like, oh well, maybe pay off some debt. Yeah, we're gonna do that anyway. So, Kwani gets a call from the sailor agent, and I'll let you tell because you spoke to her.
Yes. So, I get this call and I answer the call because I'm a little dejected, Like we told you last night, we still believe God is good. We still believe that He does good. But we're going to take our moment to grieve and we're going to take our moment to, sit in our sadness and do what we have to do. So when she calls, I'm very much just like, hey, how's it going? And she immediately corrects me and says, no, we're not going to do that. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, okay. So she says to me, we're going to get you this house. And I'm thinking to myself, how are we going to do that? Because, we have this evidence, right? We have the proof that this is not going to work. And you not close enough?
No, just keep going.
And so, she tells me, don't worry about that, right? So she says, I have a number. I need you to call this person. I need you to talk to this person. This person owns the mortgage underwriting business or something like that. I said, okay, all right.
But before that, Kwani's like, but this ain't gonna work. And she said, I ain't ask you all.
Right, because I repeated to her what we were told last night. I said, this is what he said, this is what he said, this is what he said. None of that is going to work. And she says, but I didn't ask you all that. And I'm like, oh, well, my piece. So she says, we're not worried about that. Call this guy. She's like, matter of fact, don't worry about it. I'll have him call you. So I said, all right. And the person calls, and, I just felt impressed to tell this person, basically our story. Because it wouldn't be a testimony without a test, right? So I'm telling him, from beginning to end, all these things that happened. And so he's like, well, that's a lot. He's like, I don't think I've heard anything like that before. So he's like, well, let's get you started with the application. And I'm like, let me have you call my husband because, he has all the details. So I get off the phone with him. I text Donnie. I'm like, the guy's going to call. The guy's going to call. He's like, oh, okay. I'm in a meeting, but okay. And so then he calls you.
So he calls me. I get on the phone with him, and we start talking. And he was like, so long story short, he was like, I'm telling you what he told me at the end. He said they call me when they need things to make it happen. I said, all right then.
All righty then.
I said, I'm a man of faith. Mm-hmm. I said, he told me, he said, your wife already told me everything that happened. I said, yeah. And I said, people are looking at our credit, like my credit score is phenomenal. But again, as I told you all, we're making significantly less than what we were in Maryland. Mm-hmm. But we still have the same debt. So, with that being said, he was like, listen, we're going to make a way. We're going to figure this out. Y'all, he starts punching in numbers. He's talking to himself the whole time, out loud. And I'm on the phone, I'm on the other end, just listening. Like, I had a meeting that ended at 2. I got on the phone with him at 2:10. I didn't get off the phone until like 3:20 almost. And of that time, I probably spoke 5 minutes. But the guy was talking to himself, and then at the end, he said, okay, I'm going to put in these numbers, and we're going to see what happens. Y'all, he was shocked. This dude said, oh my God, it worked.
Listen.
And I said, yes. He said, you are, your eligibility is approved. And he's like, yes. And I said, yes. And then I said, well, what does that mean? Right. So I'm happy. He's happy. And he's telling me, he said, oh, well, what that means is when I do it for real, when I run it, you will be approved for the loan. Said,
Come on, somebody! Come on, somebody. Sorry.
Okay. He said, it's going to be tight. He said, he tells us the interest rate. He tells me what I need to pay off. What I need to pay off, considering, compared to what we were told to pay off before, is night and day. It's not even night and, it's month and year. Because night and day is close. Month and year. That's how much he was like, you pay these things off, you get this out of your name, and you pretty much live way below your means. He said, you will be at the cusp of what the loan approval debt to income ratio would be. He said, if you go to 0.38 above this cusp, it's over. He said, but if you do what I tell you to do, I said, y'all, I was listening to him. He's like, if you do what I tell you to do, it's going to work. Then he was like, got to play the market. I was sitting there like, listen, man, I'm a man of faith. We were told no yesterday, mm-hmm. And in 2 hours, you already said yes. I said
in 2 hours, y'all.
I mean, we were making up excuses why not to like the house from last night.
I know. We were like, well,
no.
The backyard and the basement.
Listen, I doubt it. I have to admit, right now, because of the excuses I made, I was like, maybe this wasn't the house because of this. But, we thought there was a delay because of something else. God is really asking us, do you trust me for what I said I will dude. And then Kwani woke up this morning and sent a text that talked about Abraham and how God had promised him a son. But Abraham actually said, "Yo, God, you said you're gonna give me a son. What's up?"
What's up?
And when he said that, that just put him into another step of, yes,
Mm-hmm.
I did tell you I was gonna get you a son. I just want to see where your faith was.
Mm-hmm.
So his faith went from here to here by questioning and saying, "Yo, God." And I think last night we had a moment of like, "Yo, God,
We did.
we came here on the not a coincidence, but by the chain of actions of things that were happening that we would believe were spiritually driven for us to be here in Atlanta."
And listen, just to interject real quick, we've talked a lot about waiting. If you follow me on my social media, you know I've talked a ton about waiting lately. In the same text that I sent him, it said delay can produce two things. It can produce your faith to grow and become greater, or it can make your faith smaller or disappear. And how you react to your wait is proportionate to your faith growing or your faith shrinking. So listen, y'all, we over here like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Because we're like, this is us. And we've compared our story to Abraham from the beginning.
Yeah.
And so this was not a coincidence that we got that message this morning before we even had this situation happen. So God was setting us up to tell us he had not forgotten the promise.
Yeah.
And then decided to go ahead and blow our minds.
Completely. I mean, I kid you not, when I sat there and listened to the guy, he's like, "I'm going to send this over to the people. They can move forward. You have your pre-approval." He's like, "I wish everything was closer to the closing date."
Right, so we can lock it in.
Because it's that tight.
Yeah.
But listen, y'all. From start to finish, I'm sitting here right now. I will never, ever look like and feel like I did last night ever again. I can't. Way too much has happened. Way too much. I mean, dude's like, "Oh, truck, don't worry, you ain't got to pay that off. Plus, you ain't gonna pay it off anyway right now." He said, "Oh, the personal loan, nah, just keep paying it." He said, "This is what you're going to do." Complete opposite. Yeah, complete opposite. A fraction of what we were told to pay off compared to what we're going to pay off. A fraction.
Yeah.
And so I've already paid half of what he told us to pay off. Now, there's going to be some more faith because we are still a little short with money.
Yeah. Because pay cut and
y'all,
no job.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
God has taken care of every concern that we have had
and given us more.
Yes.
In times of not. There have been times, kid you not, there have been times where we had. This is way early in our marriage. We had maybe $200 in the bank. And then I would come home with food, and Kwani be like, "You cooking?" I'm like, "Yeah, I had invited so and so and so and so over." And she was like, "But we ain't got no money." I was like,
right.
I was like, "We need to have people over just to say hi." And it would be the best times we would have.
Yep.
And we would get seen through the $200 shortage. Am I right?
No. And we listen.
That has happened several times.
And we have continued that tradition throughout our marriage.
Right.
No matter what happened, if Donnie comes home with bags, I know that God done told him something, and
we cooking. And people will come over and they'll like, "Thank y'all for inviting us over."
Yep.
Blah, 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 blah. And so y'all, we cannot think that God has not granted us blessings beyond our belief. And I said it last night. All these, and I said this to, I said, "Come on, God, all these blessings will come unto you because we obeyed. I was like, Lord,
and overtake
and
you.
overtake. I was like, I'm. If this is just a little bit overtaken, I am
Hey,
overtaken.
hey.
I know there's more to come,
Mhm.
and I know there's more hiccups because
The devil's mad.
The devil's mad. He he had us. I let my doubt creep in last night. I did.
Well, yeah, that was a painful blow. That was
Because we were waiting for a long time.
we did. Listen, this man that we talked to today did more in 2 hours than the other people had, and we had been waiting for what, 5 months?
Not that long.
Yeah, July,
Oh, that's
August.
true. We just got, yeah.
Yeah.
But
So it was a hard blow, and it's natural to feel disappointment, and it's natural to feel pain and sorrow when you suffer a loss. That felt like a loss last night.
but here's the thing too. Here's what I think got me through it last night. I literally started thinking about all the prayers people have been praying out personally. I had a friend that prayed over the phone with us
That's
that
right.
said, I hope you get way more than what you need. So I'm taking the fact that I know I'm going to need a little bit extra. I'm taking them like, okay, we already got that prayer in there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, y'all, we were blown.
Blown away.
I came home, told my mom. She's like, oh, okay. We don't have a definitive date, but they're saying April. No, we can't wait till this house is built.
Listen, it's gonna be the people's house, okay?
And we 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 doubted because we were like, all the backyard, all the basement. Y'all, when I say the house is beautiful, the land is, there's a creek in the back that you can hear, and it's very peaceful. It's serene. So, God, I ask you for your forgiveness of doubting, and I ask you to give me a double portion of faith right now. Whoever is out there that thinks things are not happening the way they should, but you know for sure that it's supposed to happen, just hang on. We are telling y'all, hang on. And if a no closes, and there's a better yes. And we said that last night.
We did.
There's a better yes.
And this is the better yes.
It's sweet.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tight. I told them, I said the kids gonna have to eat a couple
peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
I said miss a couple meals.
Oh.
The guy was like, don't do that. Give them some beans and franks. I was like, you know what? You're right. Peanut butter and jelly. Our kids will eat it. But
yeah, they will. They will.
We, it's although it may be tight, I know God's gonna make a way.
He is, and the
that
thing
song
is,
just hit me right now.
And not only is he going to make a way, but it's going to be good. It's not going to be stressful. It might be tight, but by the time God is finished doing it, it might be all the way live. I mean, we've seen him multiply our little time and time again. Yeah. And here we are again with little and very slim margins. But God specializes in doing the impossible.
The dude said 0.38.
Listen.
Percent.
God
not even a half a percent.
That's right.
That's less than what the runoff is needed for the election.
That is true.
The election needs a half a percent.
Yeah, that's true. So y'all,
we can't go over
slim margin
0.38.
But God specializes in doing the impossible.
If that ain't a mustard seed, y'all, we can't stay on long. We're hungry.
After we just talked about feeding our children peanut butter and jelly and beans and franks.
They young. Their metabolism is good.
We love y'all. We're so grateful for your prayers.
Keep them coming. Y'all.
Yeah, we know that somebody was burning the midnight oil for us last night.
Because I was asleep.
I was not, but thank you.
I think I just had to sleep. I was tired.
Yeah, you were emotionally drained, and
It's been a long 2 weeks, especially when I get the phone calls,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm getting a lot of them. I'm on the phone with my student loan people. I'm on the phone with the lender,
Mm-hmm.
and I keep hearing no, no, no. Wow, what are you thinking? No, man, why you got so many loans? No, and then I'm like, well, I have a PhD. I have two. I
You're
have
in
a
the medical
master's.
field too. I
I
mean,
have my
all of that.
PA, and you know, it, it sucks, but it's sweet. Right? It is sweet.
And we're gonna hold fast to this.
This is what's going to carry us over the finish line.
That's right. That's right.
They said yes. God said yes, and we're going, Lord, yes, yes, and yes again. And I do know, and I will continue to say, if something happens, we've said this last time we got out.
Yeah.
If something happens, it's for a reason.
That's right. And keep walking through open doors until they close.
Yep.
And that's what we've been doing, and that's what we continue to do. And if the doors close again,
So be it.
so be it.
We're not gonna worry no more.
Mm-hmm.
We may have some tiredness, but I'm not worried.
That's right.
No más.
Okay.
Sí, señorita. Cariño.
We love y'all. Have a good evening.
Hallelujah.
Oh gosh. And we will keep you posted as we always have.
Happy Veterans Day to everyone.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service. God bless you. And we'll see you soon.
Oh yeah, very soon.
Bye y'all.